Russia will not be the first to use nuclear weapons, but it is ready to strike back. This was stated by the President of Russia, Vladimir Putin. He added as an excuse that Russia understands what a nuclear weapon is.
To be honest, such a threat about the fact that Russia will not be the first one to use nuclear weapons under any circumstances is growing. But if we are not the first to use it under any circumstances, then we will not be the second to use it either. We have not gone crazy. We are aware of what nuclear weapons are, and we've got these weapons, but we are not going to brandish nuclear weapons like a razor all over the world.
The United States has immediately reacted to Putin's speech. According to State Department spokesman Ned Price, since the Cold War, nuclear powers around the world have always ensured, and nuclear war is something that cannot be waged and cannot be won.
We think that any loose talk of nuclear weapons is absolutely irresponsible. We think any other rhetoric, whether it is nuclear, saber-rattling, or even raising the specter of the use of tactical nuclear weapons, is something that is irresponsible. It is dangerous, and it goes against the spirit of that statement that has been at the core of the nuclear non-proliferation regime since the Cold War. Ned Price, spokesman for the United States Department of State.
Putin also contrasted Russia with the United States in his speech, pointing out that Washington was deploying nuclear weapons on the territory of other NATO countries in Europe, while Moscow, by his words, was not. However, he did not mention that no NATO country was talking about the usage of nuclear weapons, while Russia has been reminding of its nuclear potential since February. According to experts, Putin's nuclear threats are just a bluff.
I don't believe that their tactics are strategic, because in any case, either the regions of the Russian Federation will suffer, or it will be a question of NATO countries. And it will be a question of NATO countries for sure, as well as the issue of Article 5, which will be an edge. So I think that these are Russian tactics of increasing the stakes.
At the same time, the nuclear threat from Russia comes not only from the possible use of tactical weapons. Russian troops are preparing another provocation at the Zaporizhzhia nuclear power plant, which has been captured by them for many months now. To do this, they've brought multiple launch rocket systems Grad to the territory of the facility. The Russian invaders placed weapons near the 6th power unit, next to the territory of the dry storage of spent nuclear fuel, where they had previously built some allegedly protective structures in a secret regime, again violating all conditions for ensuring nuclear and radiation safety. The Ukrainian Energoatom National Nuclear Energy Company believes that the Russian occupiers can be preparing for the shelling of Nikopol and Marhanets from the site of the Zaporizhzhia NPP.
The whole world understands flagrant violations of all norms and requirements of nuclear and radiation safety of the operation of nuclear power plants used by the Russian invaders for military purposes. They have placed personnel, military equipment, weapons and explosives there from the very beginning of the aggression, mined the territory of the plant and access roads to it. From the statement of the Energoatom company on Telegram.
Amid a possible provocation, Energoatom has turned to the International Atomic Energy Agency and the entire world nuclear community once again for the creation of a security zone inside and around the plant, liberating it from Russian occupiers and weapons. Russia's actions are also closely watched by the North Atlantic Alliance. According to Jens Stoltenberg, the NATO Secretary General, Russia now desperately wants to achieve a ceasefire with Ukraine until spring.
What we see now is that Russia is actually attempting to try to have some kind of freeze of this war, at least for a short period of time, so they can regroup, repair, recover, and then try to launch a bigger offensive next spring. So what we do is that we support Ukraine in their right for self-defense. Ukraine is defending their own country, and NATO allies and partners are providing unprecedented support to those efforts by the Ukrainians.
Indeed, Ukraine receives military assistance from 24 countries. We are talking about the US, UK, Australia, Denmark, Greece, Estonia, Italy, Canada, Latvia, Lithuania, the Netherlands and Germany. These countries published a new list of weapons that will be provided as part of military assistance earlier this week. It includes armored personnel carriers, self-propelled artillery mounts, tank tractors and almost 100 pickup trucks for the military. Reported by Dana Kolesnik, Faina Vasilenko, UATV News.